And this is a very exciting trend, I think, for Piemonte, because they can use many different grape varieties to nurture that style. And also, of course, the white wines, including Timorasso, the new star of Italy.
He's certainly starting to sound like a master of wine.
Italian Wine Travel with Stevie Kim.
Welcome back to Italian Wine Podcast. My name is Stevie Kim. This is the Grandi Langhe 2025 edition. I have next to me our next guest, a name and a master of wine with a name impossible to pronounce. Wait a minute, let me try. Wojciech Bonkowski. Is that correct?
Absolutely, well done.
Okay. So you're from Poland. Tell us how you became a master of wine, when, and what you do currently.
I became a Master of Wine in 2023, so I'm a relatively recent crop.
Yes, new.
As everybody knows, it takes you, 6, 7, 10, 20 years to become an MW. I'm happy it's over.
How long did it take you? 20 years?
No, 7 years in my case, but yeah, they're painful years. But I'm happy it's over, and I'm happy to focus on my journalist occupations. I run the Ferment Wine magazine in Poland, and I also judge notably at the Country Wine War Awards when I'm co-chair for Central and Eastern Europe.
And are you specialized in Italian wine in any way?
I have always specialized in Italian wine to an extent, as much as I can as a journalist, but certainly I have focused on Italy for many, many years, and currently I mostly focus on Piemonte and Sicily.
Excellent. Perfect guest for today. So the question number one is, which new or emerging Piedmont wine styles have caught your eye this year?
Well, certainly we are seeing the rise of sparkling wines, not only from Alta Langa, but also I'm very excited with the Nebbiolo sparkling wines, pink and white. I think we're seeing more and more light red wines made with a variety of techniques. I think more and more are made with carbonic maceration from different grapes, and this is a very exciting trend, I think, for Piemonte, because they can use many different grape varieties to nurture that style. And also, of course, the white wines, including Timorasso, the new star of Italy.
He's certainly starting to sound like a master of wine. Question number two. Have you noticed any specific trends in winemaking or vineyard management techniques among producers recently from Piemonte?
Yeah, I think we're seeing with the advent of many hot vintages like 22 and 23 and very dry, people harvesting a little bit earlier than hitherto in order to contain the alcohol. There is more and more whole bunch pressing and fermentation, also to keep the alcohol a little bit low and keep freshness in the wines. And as I mentioned, some of the newest, most contemporary red wine styles are now made with infusion-like maceration or carbonic maceration, to make them even more light-bodied and more gluggable.
And what are international, such as yourself, writers, or for your folks back at home, from Poland specifically, what are they currently looking for, in your opinion, your readers, your audience?
Certainly Barolo and Barbaresco, and so the great red wines of Piemonte still have a lot of attraction. I think people are still very, very excited anytime I present these wines. I do masterclasses, I always have a full house, and I think collectors are increasing interest in these wines also because of the increasing value. But I think more and more, the lighter red wine styles, the whites, the sparkling, because white, rosé and sparkling are the categories that are still on the increase, especially on the Polish market. Red wine is fairly stagnant. So I think now people are realizing that Piemonte is not only just about, oak age, long age-worthy Nebbiolo, but has many, many other wine styles to offer.
And which producers or labels surprise you the most, and why?
Do we really have a time on this podcast to discuss them all? I tasted 200 wines yesterday, and I mostly focus on producers.
Oh my goodness!
I mostly focus on producers I didn't know. So I made a lot of discoveries.
Your teeth doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, it's early in the morning, but you should see me when I'm getting out of the building. So I focused on young people, on young boys and girls who are innovating, who are taking over family properties, introducing super vibrant young styles that really too many to list here, but also from areas which were not so exciting up until recently. I did some great rare wines with some really wonderful character. I tasted Alto Piemonte, Lessona, Fara, but also Colli Tortonesi red wines. Everybody focuses on Timorasso. I tasted some red wines. So I think there is a new generation now in Piemonte that is really, really exciting.
Yeah, he is a professional, as you can tell. And have you encountered any unexpected? You're a master of wine, but did you have any unexpected grape varieties or up-and-coming terroirs that you discovered here at Grandi Langhe?
I'm tasting through, for example, Monferrato Nebbiolo, which is an unexpected combination for me because
Monferrato Nebbiolo.
Mostly focusing on Barbera up until recently.
Yeah.
And I tasted some really exciting dry red wines from Bracchetto. Usually a sweet wine,
Yes.
but now more and more a dry one. And I think that's the next big thing.
Aha. I've not tried any Bracchetto dry wines. Any producers?
Yeah, Hilberg Pasquero make a really exciting wine. You have to ask them because it's under the table, it's got no DOC.
Oh, jeez. Only.
But that's the little secret here at Grandi Langhe, okay?
And looking ahead, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for wines from Piemonte for your market, for example, and then internationally in general?
Look, I think Italy will continue to be super sexy as a wine country, and the suction, the interest in Italian wines will continue. Certainly in Poland, Italy is the #1 exporter on our market. And as I said, Barolo and Barbaresco, I'm sure, will retain their romance for many years to go. But increasingly, I think the more lateral, the more marginal styles and the incredible diversity of grape varieties and terroirs will be appreciated. So I'm very optimistic about Piemonte wines in Poland.
You're, again, you have the many opportunities to meet the producers, but does it in any way, although you are the master of wine, do meeting the producers face to face, or even your other colleagues from the other side of the world, do they in any way influence the perceptions that you have about Piemonte wines?
Of course, it's the land of people. Wine is people and terroir. People's stories, real life is absolutely crucial to the appreciation of wine. As a journalist, you have to detach yourself a little bit from it, and you have to mix, blind tastings, group tastings, and also meeting people on site at the wineries. But in the end, it's about the human stories and the people who make the wines.
So I know you're not Nostradamus, but what are your future predictions for Piemonte wine in the near future?
Piedmont has to face global warming as every other region, but I think it's well positioned to withstand the consequences for a little longer than other regions because of the Alpine influence and the cooling influences. I think the region has to refocus on slightly lighter, more drinkable wines. The big tannic, oaky styles of the past are probably not going to be so popular. So there's going to be a change, and I think the region will shift a little bit more to white wines in the future. And it's going to be interesting to see which grape varieties are going to really stand at the top.
Okay, well, and that was Wojciech Bonkowski, Master of Wine from Poland. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Stevie.
And that's a wrap from Grandi Langhe 2025 here with us. Ciao ragazzi.